And hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are here today at Cape Town International Airport where we stopped last time, or where we finished last. And today we will be flying to Walvis Bay in Namibia. So I've actually tried to do an airlink flight today, or tried to let us do a simulated airlink flight. But unfortunately, I don't have any of the aircraft in the sim yet that Airlink operates, or not good ones, I should say. And I couldn't find a livery for the 737 for Airlink, so I did for the 800, but I really wanted to try the Levelup 737-700 today, which you are seeing right in front of you now. So we'll be trying that out. We are still flying an Airlink flight. Let me just confirm. Is Airlink flight 341. So we will be simulating an Airlink flight, but we will just imagine this beautiful aircraft we have in front of us is an Airlink aircraft. But I just downloaded a private business jet model, which looked quite nice. I think this livery looks quite fancy, looks nice. And we have our Minecraft people again today. I should really try to invest in a better ground handling services. So I already set up the aircraft mostly, did the pre-flight procedure and the checklists already. We'll just do the checklist together as well. We can actually do it now. Let me just get my checklist. So for the pre-flight, let's quickly do that before I forget. The fuel shut-off valves is checked. Oxygen is tested 100%. Navigation transfer display switches are all normal and auto. Window heat is on. Pressurization mode selector is auto. Flight instruments are, our heading is 278, altitude 160 on that side. We don't have the correct QNH just yet, but that should be fine. And the clocks do correspond with each other, I think. Yes, they do. So that's our flight instruments. Parking brake is set, and the engine start levers are in the cutoff position as they should be. So that the pre-flight checklist done, we can quickly discuss our flight for today. So today we'll be flying to Walvis Bay, as I mentioned earlier, in Namibia, which is a country just northwest of southern Africa, on the western coast of Africa. So we'll be flying to that today. That's the flight for today. So we can start setting up the aircraft for the departure then. I haven't set up anything in the FMC except for aligning the IRSs, so I inputted the airport we are at now, which is Foxtrot Alpha Charlie Tango, and that is in, and everything is aligned and ready for us to continue. So let's start with the route. We will select our origin, which is Foxtrot Alpha Charlie Tango, and then we will be flying to Walvis Bay, which has a KO designation of Foxtrot Yankee Whiskey Bravo. Insert that into the destination, and our flight number is Airlink flight 341. We input that into the FMC, and now I just need to get out my flight plan so we can see what runway we're going to use for today. So we will be using runway 19 for today. That should be correct and sharp. The fuel is also loaded on IC now, so we can select our fasten seatbelt sign to on. So first time I'm trying out the level ups now, so it's going to be interesting flight today. Sorry. Let's go to the departures and arrival page. You selected runway 19. We will be flying the IMSOB 1 Bravo departure. So this one at the very top, we will take that one. Go to route, go to next page, and then we input the rest of our waypoints. So we will firstly go via Uniform Quebec 34, this airway to Uviku, which is Uniform Bravo India Kilo Uniform. Insert that there, and then we have another airway, Uniform November 188, and 2 Ansuks, which is Alpha November Uniform X-ray. No, I missed something. The Sierra Uniform X-ray, like so. Now the flight time, or expected flight time for today is about 2.5 hours, so I'm not going to input the arrival just yet. And if I remember correctly, this airport does not have any arrivals, it only has approaches, so it should be a quite straightforward arrival into Walvis Bay today. We have a pretty long runway. It's a pretty simple airport, not that doesn't have a lot of facilities, but it does have a very nice runway in my opinion, so we should be fine when it comes to the landing performance with this aircraft. So the Airlink usually uses for this flight, they usually use the Embraer 140s. For this flight, it's not that very high intensity route, and they fly mostly from Cape Town and Johannesburg towards Walvis Bay. And the Johannesburg flight, it's basically a stopover for, as far as I understand, Walvis Bay is a stopover for the Johannesburg flights ongoing to, what's that airport's name? St. Helena, to that island in the South Atlantic. But anyway, let's continue. So that's the route inserted now. Let's activate that and then execute. Cool. And then let's get our perf init stuff ready. So let's see what our jazz is for today. Okay, so our cost index is 80. We have an average wind of 302.102. So 302 at 102, which is quite severe, and it's going to give us a pain. Wrong one. It's going to be a little bit of a pain. You'll see that might impact our flight time and fuel a little bit. I'm thinking of maybe loading an extra ton of fuel, but let's discuss that now. Let's just finish this page quickly. Zero fuel weight is not the same. I don't think it's the same actually on the flight plan, because I haven't configured SimBrief yet for this aircraft, so the weights and stuff are a bit wonky yet still for now. Yeah, don't mind the Hoover in the back. It's difficult to get a time to record sometimes ish, because there's always something or someone in the way. What did I want to see? The zero fuel weight is 51,000, and that is correct actually. Via the flight plan, it's 51.0. Yeah, I'm going to take it 51.0, that should be fine. That's our zero fuel weight. Our fuel is 8.5 as selected there. And then our reserves for this flight leg is going to be 2.5. Yeah, 2.5 tons is our reserves. Execute. Okay, and it actually has an outside air temperature, so we need to input that. I'm going to go scroll all the way down. Top of climb, our flight level is 370, minus 51 degrees outside air temperature, so minus 51 selected there. Then execute, N1 limit. And here we need to discuss our performance a little bit. So before we do that, I think actually we need to check what the weather is like at Walvis Bay today. Let's see if this model also has the request function. Yes, it does have the request function. That's cool. I quite like this request function. Whiskey Bravo set. And then we send that, and then we just wait for a response. Let's just check the weather. If the weather looks a bit bad there, I might load an extra ton or two's fuel on, just for in case. And the weather actually looks beautiful at Walvis Bay today. Really not that much. 15 degrees and 10 degrees dew point. QNH 1018. Winds 270 at 6. Cav okay. I don't know. We shouldn't have a problem. This flight plan already has, I think it already calculated for the enormous headwind already, so I think actually I'm going to leave it as is. So let's get our performance stuff done then. Let's talk about the performance. So if we go back to the perf page, we have a gross weight of 59.5, which gives us a takeoff weight of 59.2, which 200 kilograms are for the taxi. So we will be taking off with a weight of 59.2 more or less, but that's the value I'm going to use for the performance. So we will just need to have a look here. Where's the performance tool again? Here's the performance tool. Our aircraft type is the 700. Yes. Airport. Cape Town. Runway 19. Yes. Weight is 59. No. 59. 200. And yes, that is it. Let's populate the weather. And we just need to see that that does correspond with the weather we have in sim. So let's actually request again, but for Cape Town to now. Send. Now we wait again. Message. Fact 150 at 4 knots, and that is not correct. So populate the weather again. Does it change anything? No, it does not. So let's manually input this stuff. So we have winds of 150 at 4 knots, 150 at 4 knots, outside air temperature of 12 degrees, pretty cold today, and we have a QNH of 1025, pretty high. Okay, I think that is everything said. So for the, I think actually, because I think this has these clouds have a lot of precipitation in it, so I think I'm going to calculate it with engine anti-ice on, just for in case. Rather be safe than sorry, I always say. So let's get the come on, anti-ice engine. Yes, calculate. Alrighto. It calculated with a flap setting of 1. I don't really want a flap setting of 1. I want a flap setting of 5. Where flap setting. Let's do flap setting 5. Let's recalculate. Cool. Alright, with the calculations we get a assumed temperature of 48 degrees with a V1 of 141, 144 and 148 and a flap setting of 5. Leads on. Yes, everything else seems to be correct. So let's go select our assumed temperature, 48 degrees. Cool. And we selected as is there. Let me just make sure we actually take that one. Cool. So then we get a N1 of 87.2. So let's go to the takeoff page and then we select flaps 5. We'll use the cheat button for the trim and we get 5.75. Before I forget it again, let's put that in. The trim wheel sounds a bit different from the NG. The Zebo mod. I actually love the Zebo mod's trim wheel sound. So here on the FMC, let's try inputting the winds here as well. 150 at 4. Cool. Don't worry about the runway slope. It's not that much. Anyway, let's go back. Okay, so it gives us V speeds here in the FMC of 129, 130, 133. But let's use the tool again. So 141 for V1. For rotate we have 144. And for V2 we have 148. Cool. Okay, so that's basically the aircraft setup. Let's get the other things in order. So we have QNH 1025. We have 148 for V2 on the MCP. 148, we selected runway 19, so that's 192 if I remember correctly. I should actually set the VOR. I already inserted the local VOR into the nav boxes, so we can just align the corresponding course selectors for the runway, so we have a reference in the air. And then we'll just have a look at our departure and briefing, that stuff. So we concluded already with our performance. I did the briefing as I was doing this now. So let's have a look at our departure. Let's discuss it quickly and work quickly. Thanks. Fact. Select next, and let's go to the airport, and then we select departure, the IMSOB ones. Yeah, I just need to change this over to dark mode. I like the dark mode on the charts, not the white. Don't like it. Okay, so let's discuss the taxi quickly. So we are sat here on the Charlie apron. I can't actually remember what stand we're on. Can't see the numbers there, but anyway, we're here on the Charlie apron, so we will push back facing north, and then we will taxi via Alpha, and then Alpha 1, crossing runway 16, then Alpha 2, and then we'll hold at Alpha 2 for runway 19, and then we'll depart out there. For the departure itself, we will program this into the fixed page as well, because there's a few things that we can input into the fixed page to help us out a little bit for better situational awareness. So we'll do that momentarily. We're flying the IMSOB 1 Bravo departure, so let's read the written routing. The IMSOB 1 Bravo for runway 19, that is correct. On runway track 2, distance 5, Charlie Tango Victor, which is the Cape Town VOR. Turn right 240 track, intercept Charlie Tango Victor radial 210. When passing 5500, turn right to Aspik, then to IMSOM, continue as per flight plan. And we can see the visualization of that. We take off runway heading at 5 CTV, we turn right onto a track of 240 to intercept the 210 radial, and then passing 5,500 feet, we turn right direct Aspik, and then we finish the departure, the standard departure at IMSOB, and then we continue with the flight plan as filed. So, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, we don't have, once again, won't be flying on any network today. There's no continuous ATC in Southern Africa or in Africa in general, which is quite sad actually, but it is what it is. So we do have initial climb. We flight level 900 or 090. Sorry, you must speak right, Dylan. You must speak right correctly. Anyway, so we inserted that into the MCP. Now, for the departure, we will climb basically up until 9,000, but as we did with the previous flight, as necessary, I'll cancel that and we'll just climb all the way up to our cruising altitude of flight level 370. And speaking of cruising level, we need to insert the cruising level into our pressurization panel, or we have a Halo 2.0 today. There we go. And it is set into the auto position, which is also correct. So let's quickly program the points in the fixed page to help us out. So we have CTV, which is the VOR we will be working off mostly. So we put in a ring for 5 DME, and then a radial 210. Just gonna insert 210. Don't want to insert a distance, it just makes a straight line all the way. And then we'll insert only this Aspik reference the IMSOM one will leave out. There's not going to be enough space anyway on the fixed page to do so. So that is radial 275, distance 25. So 275 at 25, just confirming, yes, 25, and then we insert it like so. And there is everything in the FMC now, and you can see the departure on the ND. This one you can actually see it quite nicely. It worked out perfectly. The previous flight from Joburg to Cape Town, the departure didn't line up completely as it should, but that's just, I think, a problem with flight sims. I don't know, with the nav data waypoints not being exactly where they are in real life, maybe off by a few meters or something. I don't know. You guys can let me know in the comments down below if you know why, because I have noticed it before at some airports and some departures. If you input the fix in the fix page, you insert the departure route there as a guide, like we did now. Some of the waypoints and turning points and stuff like that don't necessarily line up with what is programmed into the FMC. But I just, yeah, like I said, just think that's a sim thing. Just wait for that thing light to go away. It should go away. Let's auto brake this arm. So I'm guessing, I'll leave that for later. Okay, anyway, you go to the in-rev page again. Everything is still fine here, and everything is still fine there, and we have the takeoff fine. We discussed the departure, we discussed the taxi, and that should all be handy dandy. Yeah, I think that's basically it. I just want to have a look at our departure time. Our departure time was actually, I think it's passed already. Out 800, yes. Okay, we're 8 minutes late, so we can start setting up the aircraft for the pushback and get on with this flight. I think let's start closing some doors though. Let's remove the loader. Let's stop the passengers and take the bus away, take the catering away, and the cleaning van, and then we close some doors along. Oh, I already forgot to start the leg again. Doesn't want to start the leg, I don't know why. Whatever, let's close the doors. Let's leave that one these open for now. Let's close the cargo doors. We can actually close the aft entry, maybe take away the aft stairs. Let's try now. No. Okay. Oh well, if it doesn't want to start, it doesn't want to start, I guess. I'll see. Maybe if I close all the doors, it will start. I don't know. What's on the next page? Oh. It's loud outside. Okay. We close this window now. I think everything is smooth there. Okay, let's try to start the flight leg again. Or should you start ground service first? Okay, I don't know why that's not working, but we don't need it necessarily. I'm just going to close the door myself then, if I can find the almost, there we go, the door spot. Let's bring up the yokes, and then let's get up setting the aircraft for. Let's do the before start procedure. Start the APU. Actually going to be preemptive about it, it's going to deselect the alpha hydraulic system. Okay. I'm trying to think now, did I discuss everything? I think so. I do think so. Just waiting for the APU to come alive, and we can start disconnecting stuff. Maybe we should try out the HUD as well. It should be interesting to see the HUD in this model as well. Don't expect it to be quite different from the Zebo mod. I personally don't like a HUD that much. I like flying the aircraft without a HUD, but I have had instances where a HUD is very helpful, especially while flying in Scandinavia with very short runways and sometimes the visibility is not that great. Then a HUD is very helpful, very helpful. It allows you to very precisely put the aircraft down where you need to put it on the runway to ensure a safe landing. Yo, why am I so gassy today? And the APU's on, so we can, with the APU on the bus, and we can disconnect the ground power unit, ASU, and I'm gonna put the bleed on, the APU bleed, then that can start feeding air into the cabin. So let's prepare a bit of pushback. Let's pre-plan. No, I don't want you delete segment. I want you to come straight to here, and then theoretically I don't really need to push back, but if you load in with the aircraft, it doesn't load in correctly via these lines on the tarmac, so, or on the apron I should say, so it's a bit difficult to turn the aircraft around without hitting something, and I think that should be fine. Let's accept that then.
Got the directions. Let me know through the menu when you're ready.
This weather is hitting my frame rates at the moment badly. Oh, let's put on the flight directives. I think I should LNAV actually on the ground today. And let's call for pushback. I think, no, before we do that, let's do, oh sorry, hit the mic. Before start checklist, fuel, we have 8.4 tons and it is balanced both sides, 110 kilograms out basically, which is fine, it's within limits. Passenger signs are set, windows are closed and locked. MCP 148-192-9000 for the speed, heading and altitude, and it is set. Takeoff speeds is 141, 144 for rotate, 148 for V2. CDU pre-flight is completed, the taxi and takeoff briefing is completed, and that is the before start checklist to the line complete. And I accidentally moved the trim there, so we can call for pushback there. I don't know, it did already call for pushback and I'm just an idiot. Let's see if they are here. Nope, I did not. So let's request.
Great news, Captain, your tow's coming.
Thank you, sir. Nope, don't want to see that on the display. Now let's do the procedure below the line, and before start checklist below the line, flight deck door is closed and locked and the anti-collision light is on. So now we're just waiting for you, kind sir, to lift us up and push us back so we can be on our merry way. Just trying to see if I didn't maybe forget something. Don't think so. Does not seem that way. Nope.
Alright, looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
Okay, I'm gonna put off the packs before I forget to do so. It's been a while since I've flown a 700 model, so it's going to be interesting. It flies a bit differently from the 800. As I recall, it's been a few years since I've flown a 700 model. But what I can recall, it's easier to fly in my opinion, so we will see how it goes today. especially with landing, because it's a shorter aircraft. The 800 is not meant to be that long actually.
Welcome
It
aboard,
wasn't
Captain.
designed
Toes connected,
initially in the
5 past 10
60s to
inserted.
be that
Go and kill the
long, but
parking brake when you're ready
it
to go.
works. So we can release our parking brake. Oh,
Here comes the pushback. Light them up.
thank you. Okay, so we'll be starting 2, then 1. Packs are already off, so we can select ground on 2. I should have actually checked in the settings if they have the levers and not the switches for the start. Switches? Oh, the cutouts. But I guess that'll work. I just like the levers, it's cool. The levers are cool, I like that. Start the cutout, that's a bit quick. Come better push back, don't screw it up now. Okay, we have a good engine start on 2. Everything seems cool there. Great. Let's start 1. Let's monitor it as we should. Just waiting for the oil pressure to rise. It doesn't seem like it's rising. There, it's rising now. And we introduce fuel. I don't think GSX knows what it's doing, so let's just rather terminate this. No, disconnect. Oh crap.
A few moments later.
Just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake.
Finally. Just leave me
And
here.
we're
Don't.
disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
Thank you. Just bugger off. Okay. Let's put the anti-ice off. Alright. Now with that finally figured out, we can finish the rest of our setup for departure. Just doing my flows quickly, making sure everything is set correctly. Everything seems to be set correctly. So,
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the left. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
okay, actually I'm gonna set this to 150. Yeah, okay, bye-bye. Thanks for screwing it all up. Anyway, let's set our flap position. Flaps 5, trim is already set, and let's have a look at our flight controls. Full right, full left, full forward, full aft, full right, full left, set. And actually this thing has not, so give me a second quickly. And we interrupted. I'm back now. Everything should be set up now correctly, hopefully. I might even scrub this video, but we'll see. Everything seems to be in order now. Cool. We'll go back to the engines page and everything should be set. Okay, we just need to check the recall. And fantastic, let's check our before taxi checklist. Generators are on, probe heats are on, anti-ice is not required at the moment. Isolation valve is auto, engine start switch is continuous, recall was checked, auto brake, we just set that to RTO, it should go out there, but anyway, flaps 5, green light. Yes, 5, green light. Engine start lever, shot the idle detent. Rudder and aileron trim 3 and 0. Flight controls check, ground equipment is clear and out of the way now. That pushback did not go as planned, but anyway, let's start moving, guys. Let's put on our taxi light. I have the logo lights on today as well for the poor visibility, or not that poor visibility, but just it's a standard operating procedure that I'm used to. I hate it when stuff like that happens. Jeez, it's a pain. It's the first time I've seen it on other YouTubers' channels and stuff as well, where better pushback freaks out like that, and just go through the whole rigmarole of spinning round and round all the time. But this is the first time it's happened to me. I've been flying X-Plane for a little under a year now, and that's the first time it's happened to me with a new aircraft. That's just my luck. Just gonna get the airport view here so that I know what I'm doing on the charts. It's gonna be beautiful climbing through these clouds again today. I love that's what I love about flying, is it can look this poor down on the ground, and then you just climb through a bit of rough air and rough weather, geez, and then it's beautiful up there, sunny. I like that. It's a unique thing in aviation. Just make sure all the doors are closed and I didn't forget something. No. And also, everything is disconnected. I'm noticing it feels easier to control on the ground than the 800. I wonder if I saw while I was downloading this this mod for X-Plane that there might be a possibility that Levelup is going to bring us the Maxes as well, the Max variants of the 737, which that would be cool. I'd love to get my hands on those then. I do like the Max with its BS it has at the moment. Still a good looking aircraft, and I do like the philosophy. The idea behind the Max was a good idea. But that's also how far it goes, I guess. Just put on our strobe lights and then on my turn-offs. Then we cross 1016 here as we discussed in our departure briefing. And then we just hold short there right in front of us. We'll quickly do the before takeoff checklist and then we will get out of here. It's a nice southbound departure. With the right hand turn, we'll have a nice view of Table Mountain, hopefully. But we'll see. If we climb fast enough, we're going to be in the clouds, then we won't see it, but maybe. Or above it. Just stop here. And there we are, stopped. I'm just gonna apply the parking brake. Oh, frames. Anyway, let's quickly do the before takeoff checklist. Cabin report has not been received. Sorry, I hit the mic again. Let's just put the wing light on. I don't know if this one works in that fashion or not. But anyway, let's just imagine we have a cabin report received. So we just set that side. Flaps are 5, green light. Stabilizer trim is 5 point, there I moved it now. 5.5 units needs to be selected, so let's just roll it to that. Should be more or less correct there. And that's the before takeoff checklist complete. So I'm gonna arm the auto throttles, gonna put on our transponder, and that's actually the wrong setting. That's more correct setting. And everything else is fine. Speed brake should be stowed, and we can put on our landing lights, and then we can go onto the runway. And actually put off the taxi light now. It's not needed anymore. It feels I don't know if it's just me, but it feels like the engines respond a bit slower than in the Zebo mod, or it's just me. It's the same type of engine as far as I understand. Let's just check. The departure is clear, the arrival is clear, and the departure is clear as well. And this frames is gonna make things interesting now. I think the weather is changing. The clouds are moving. Okay. And we are almost aligned. We're doing this very slowly today. Okay, anyway, let's get a move on, guys. I think the wind is coming from the left. Engines are more or less stable, not synced up properly, but why did it disconnect now? Toga selected. Takeoff thrust set.
$80 knots.
Checked.
V1. Rotate.
Rotating. Slower. Pull more.
Positive rate.
Gear up.
Gear up. $400.
Checked. Just keep it on the flight directors. bug up now, or 1000.
1000.
Checked. And let's bug up. Slow the nose a little bit. It feels quite different from the 800. And we can select flaps 1. It feels like it oscillates a lot more than the 800 does. It's gonna be an interesting flight, guys. Okay, we can go flaps up now, and then when the flaps are retracted, we just select VNAV. And I actually want to hand flight this a little bit just to get a feel for it, but I am, as you can see, struggling a bit. To do that right turn now. The flight directors move very abruptly. Just keeping the nose a bit higher just for myself to give me more headroom to be able to keep under the speed restrictions. Yeah, it feels quite different. Start rolling out now. I know the flight director doesn't want me to, but I'm going to. I'm not on the network, so I'm not going to try to follow the departure exactly now. And the speed's dropping, so let's lower the nose. Clouds part like the Red Sea. And we have the transition altitude. Just gonna reset the MCP altitude to a higher altitude. Actually, I'm gonna select direct aspect. Come on. Let's reset my view. To turn left a bit. And we can reduce the nose now by quite a lot. We're passing 10,000 now. So we can speed up to our speed that we can go above 250 now. That's what I'm trying to say. We're above 10,000, so lights can go off. And I actually forgot to put on the engine anti-ice, but that's okay, we're still flying. Okay, I should really change that because I just handled the throttle now and it disconnected the auto throttle. Okay, let's do the after takeoff checklist. After takeoff checklist, altimeter set standard. Engine bleeds are on, sorry, packs are auto, landing gear is up and off, flaps are up, no lights. Just slowly start lowering the nose again just to gain speed. trim wheel sounds not too bad actually. It sounds quite nice. The departure was a bit wonky. Sorry guys. Learning this thing now, or relearning rather. Departed safely from Cape Town at least, which is a good thing. It just moves very abruptly. I don't know if you saw that, but as far as my memory serves me, hopefully my memory serves me well now, but in the Zebra mod it doesn't react. The flight director does not move that abruptly. It has a much smoother flow to it, I guess. Everything is still looking good. Need to turn more, a little bit back. Just trim it out for the turn. I'm turning too fast. Should maybe see if there's a mod for the primary flight display for this aircraft, because it is a little bit difficult to see the flight directors a little bit, but it's okay, we'll manage. Now that I think about it, I actually could have used the HUD and that would have been easier now, but oh well. Let's put the autopilot on. I think I have enough for now. Set it up to 37,000 on MCP. That's it. Let's align our heading bugs again. Set. Make sure all the lights and stuff is off, which is supposed to be. The logo light can come off now. That should be in that position. It's correct. Ding the cabin. Okay. The lovely crosswind now, 40 knots. Which is gnarly. Let's see where we are. We turned right to Uviku now. So I'm just gonna set this to 80 so we can see what we're doing. So on the departure, I actually think we just passed Imsom. So we should actually be able to see Table Mountain to our right now. But yeah, it's underneath all the clouds today. No view of Table Mountain today, guys. Unfortunately, we just have clouds and clouds. It seems like the entire country of South Africa is under clouds today, because I'm a native. I live in South Africa. I was born here, so where I am at the moment, it's cloudy as well. So, and promise you, I'm pretty far away from Cape Town. It seems everywhere it's cloudy today. climbing nicely. Engines seem to be performing great. I would just like to, at this waypoint we are approaching now, Uviku, just want to do a fuel check to make sure that we are still fine on the fuel, because we did burn a little bit more on the ground than we planned to. Thank you. Better push back. Okay, I feel that Uviku should be 6.9. And how far are we? 17 nautical miles, 17.6 now. Yeah, I think actually gonna be a bit less than that, maybe 100 k's under. We'll see. So yeah, later on during the cruise we will have a history segment again, or rather I have decided this time, in the past few weeks since the last video, I have decided on a name what to call these segments, and an ANA brief, or airport and area brief. So you guys will be able to enjoy a little ANA brief for Walvis Bay during the cruise somewhere. And I hope you guys like this idea of mine. Guys, should please let me know down in the comments if you think I should improve something, or maybe try a different format. I'm all ears for any suggestions that you guys do have to help the channel grow. So yeah, if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know. And if you do like these type of videos and what I'm doing here, please leave a like and a subscribe down below. It does help the channel. It helps me to know that you guys like what you're seeing, and it encourages me to continue making these videos, which I do like, enjoy making. It's pretty exciting. Can see nothing on the ground today, just clouds. It's a lovely cloud over there. And now let's check 7. Okay, so we're not on there actually. Should actually be either spot on or a bit above actually. Thought we were going to be a bit lower than that. It seems I was mistaken. I actually forget to do this sometimes, but I must put in the soft lock, well, the hard lock for the autopilot not to turn more than 10 degrees at a time. Just gives a smoother ride for the virtual passengers. We'll see how this thing's gonna go with the landing. As I remember, since last time I've flown a 700, it lands easier. It's easier to land than the 800. And according to other YouTubers that I follow, which are real 737 pilots, that is just due to the fact that the 737 is longer, and the original 737s weren't designed to be that long, but they made it that long. And that's why the 800 and the 900 is notoriously difficult to land, whereas they become shorter from the 700 and downward, 600, 500, it's easier to land than the longer ones. So we'll see how that goes. Just need to align the heading. Now we're fine on the fuel state, so I'm happy. And the wind is increasing and increasing as we go up. 80 knots now. And have a pretty strong winds today again. Actually, I want to check something. Okay, not here. Map. I want to see if the Navigraph VFR, let's just say select VFR for now. I just want to see if it's possible. It does not seem like that way. My aircraft, yes. What's that? No. Huh. I wanted to see if I can load like the weather sectional charts for this area, but it does not seem like that way. You need to do it within the Navigraph app itself, it seems. Let's have a look see over there and check. Let's have a look here. Weather. Yeah, it's just clouds everywhere, that's all. It seems. Cloud cover. Basically the entire South Africa is covered in clouds almost. Except for the Northern Cape, it seems. But we will be flying over the Northern Cape anyway, so we will see if there's clouds there. But that's like South Africa's desert biome. So there's a lot of nothingness. And we are at cruise now. So now we just sit back and enjoy the ride, guys. Everything seems still fine. We are fine on our fuel. Routing seems to be fine. Nothing ahead of us that seems to be dangerous. So I'm gonna hand you guys over for the ANA brief, and then for a little small short montage of the flight with some views, hopefully, during the flight. Hopefully we'll see some nice stuff during this leg, and I'll show you guys. And anyway, guys, you should enjoy, and I'll see you in a short while. And what's up, guys, and welcome to today's ANA brief. Our destination for today is Walvis Bay, a small harbour city in the Erongo region of Namibia, with a deep water natural harbour that has safeguarded ships since its founding. Walvis Bay was first discovered by the Portuguese in 1485, but was formally founded by once again the Dutch East India Company in the late 18th century, to be used as a stopover location between the Netherlands and the Cape of Good Hope. The location was used on a seasonal basis, as demand was required. Permanent settlement and development of the area only occurred during the late 19th century, possibly due to the harsh climate of the area, which is described as a cold desert climate with little to no rain every year, making Walvis Bay a quite barren location. Something that interested me during my research for this area was the name, Walvis Bay. Originally known as Walvis Bay by the Dutch and later Walvis Bay, an Afrikaans name that when translated to English means Bay of Whale Fish. Although the land is barren and the prospects are few, the coastline is rich with wildlife, particularly plankton, and thus whales, southern right whales to be specific, which attracted whalers as early as the 18th century, giving the city its name we know today. The airport was originally established and built by the South African Air Force in the 1930s as an air station. Later, the South African Air Force elevated its status from air station to air base in 1962 and was functional as Air Force Base Rooikop shortly after. During its time as an air station, the airport was mostly used for maritime patrol duties. The squadrons stationed at the air station were tasked with patrolling the southern west coast of Africa. One of these squadrons were the 16th Squadron. The squadron was formed in Walvis Bay on the 18th of September 1939, operating 3 ex-South African Airways Junkers 86 Zulus. This occurred only 17 days after the start of the Second World War. The newly formed 16th Squadron was called to arms in December of the same year as Bravo Flight of the 32nd Squadron with the mission of maritime patrol, starting the squadron's wartime career. Throughout the war, the squadron was, to put it mildly, all over the place, partaking in numerous campaigns all over Africa and Europe throughout the war. Most notably being the Battle of Madagascar, where the squadron took part in Operation Ironclad, flying reconnaissance and support missions before and during the invasion, which started on the 5th of May 1942. This was to deny the Imperial Japanese Navy access to Madagascar ports. After the invasion of Madagascar, the squadron shortly returned to its maritime patrol role in Addis Ababa, from where they were sent to Egypt. And it was here in Egypt where the squadron took part in numerous bombing missions over Eastern Europe. After the end of the war, the airbase lay dormant, but not for long. A new war was brewing. The South African Border War officially started on the 26th of August 1966, beginning a 23-year-long war between South African forces and the People's Liberation Army of Namibia, as well as the Southwest African People's Organization. The conflict also intertwined closely with the Angolan Civil War, which began in 1975. The airbase played a vital role during these conflicts, acting as a staging point for the South African Air Force as well as the South African Army. It supported maritime as well as coastal operations. The airbase also provided logistical and command support for the war effort during these conflicts. On the 15th of January 1990, the border war officially ended, and with it, Southwest Africa gained its independence, becoming Namibia as we know it today. The airbase's long and distinguished military career has started to draw to a close. Walvis Bay remained under South Africa's authority until the 1st of March 1994, when sovereignty of Walvis Bay was officially transferred to Namibia. With the airport now under new management, namely the Namibian Airports Company, the airport received its new name, Walvis Bay International Airport, with the ICAO designation of Foxtrot Yankee Whiskey Bravo. The airport is located 15 kilometers east of the city itself, at an elevation of 299 feet above mean sea level. The airport has a single runway, designated 0927, with a runway length of 3,440 meters. Today the airport links the people of Walvis Bay to the rest of the African continent. But more importantly, the airport connects the world to Walvis Bay, which in recent years has become a popular tourist attraction, generating most of the country's tourist revenue. The airport receives regularly scheduled flights from Airlink and Fly Namibia, which is a subsidiary of Westair. It also occasionally receives seasonal flights by Eurowings in Europe. And that concludes our short ANA brief for today. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and let's get back to the flight. And welcome back to the flight deck, guys. So we are nearing the end of our flight now. We see here on the FMC on the progress page that we are about 18-19 minutes away from our top of descent, so we should start planning our descent, inputting the descent into our FMC, as well as planning the approach and landing. So let's get starting. I'm just going to take the yoke away so it's out of my way. So let's go to the tablet and to the airport. So this is the airport we are landing at. So first things first, let's select the airport elevation, which is 299 feet. So we're just going to input that into the pressurization panel, 300 feet, round it up. There we go, 300 feet set into the pressurization panel now. And then we can start setting up for the arrival. So there is not arrivals stars for this airport, like as you can see, none, no stars available. So we will be flying the RMP runway 09. Winds are favorable for 09 at the moment, so we will be flying 09, but we'll have a closer look at the weather after we insert the routes for the arrival. So we're going to select the RMP 09, so that should be this one, the RMP 09, and the transition. The best transition I'd say would be the Imlek one, because we're approaching from the south anyway. So we're going to select Imlek as the transition, and we're going to just check in the route page that it has done that. Okay, it has a discontinuity there. Let's execute it as is, and then we select it like so. Yes, that should be fine. Let's check the legs page. Let's make sure everything is in. It seems everything is in. So let's check that with the chart. Okay, here at the chart we have IMLAC, which is which we should be at 4,000. Let's say 4,000 and above, yes. And then we have Whiskey Bravo 09 India, which is this waypoint right here, I think. Yes, there it is. And it doesn't have any restrictions, it's the initial fix. So, don't have any restrictions there. It does not seem. Nope. And then after that we have Whiskey Bravo 09 Foxtrot. It is in. And then we have the runway itself. Then for the missed approach, we climb straight ahead to Whiskey Bravo Mike 01, this waypoint right here, and then turn right direct to upland to join hold, which is all the way over here. This one of the transitions onto the approach. So we'll just, if we need to go missed, then we'll just follow the missed approach procedure, go into the hold at upland, and then we will rediscuss and replan our landing performance, etc. So that's what we will, that's the plan, and everything is in the FMC as it should be. Now let's look at our weights. So on the FMC it estimates as 3.5 tons. Fuel at Foxtrot Yankee Whiskey Bravo at Walvis Bay. So we'll just calculate our estimated landing weight. It should stay there, or it should be more or less accurate. And we'll just have to see how this aircraft's fuel usage goes. I don't know if it's more or less similar to the Zebo mod. It should be in theory, but let's check. See, it is a different aircraft anyway. So anyway, 3.5. Our zero fuel weight was, I can't remember now anymore, 51. So 3 is 54.5 basically, 54.55 to be precise. 54, sorry. I think I said 54. Yeah, something. I said something. Alright, so we have a landing weight of 54.5. I'm just gonna put it in here so I don't forget. Okay, that's fine. 54 500, sorry. Already forgot. Almost. And we're gonna be using a flaps 30. We don't need any anti-ice. Air conditioning is auto. Brakes. All this should be in order. Yes, dry. Let's get the current conditions at the airport now. We will listen to the ATIS as we get closer, but I think we're too far away now to listen to the ATIS anyway. So Foxtrot Yankee Whiskey Bravo. Let's send the weather request via the FMC. And there we have the message. 060 at 6. So let's just input it here. 060 at 6. Yep. Temperature is 10. Temperature has dropped a little bit, if I remember correctly now. 1019 is the QNH, and that should be it. And 6 knots, we leave the VREF at 5. That should be fine. So we have a VREF of 140, which is plus 5. I'll just input that into the reference page as well. So we will 54.5, input the landing weight there, then we select flaps 30, input that over here, and then we'll see that gives us a V speed of 129, or that's our landing speed, 129. But our VREF here, according to this thing, is 140. So something's not matching, adding up here. Did I put the weights in correctly? It's 54.5, sorry. 54.5, yes, that is correct. technically with that it gives us a landing approach speed of 135, not 140. I just want to see if I didn't screw up something here. Doesn't seem like I screwed anything up. Okay, so we'll just use this this landing speed of 129 with a additive 5 knots for the minimum. The minimum additive is 5 knots, so we'll take that. And then let's see auto brake. What is our distance available? 3,428 meters. Now what I'm going to try to do is we're going to try to end up to get off at Alpha 2 or Alpha 1. If it's possible to get off earlier, great, but Alpha 2, Alpha 1 is what I'm aiming for. The runway is 3,440 meters, which gives us 1,720 meters if we split the runway in half. I like splitting it in half, and then you can get a better sense for choosing which auto brake you need to use. So I think actually I'm going to use auto brake 2. Just hit the yoke. I just want to check the autopilot didn't disconnect. Good. I think we're going to use auto brake 2. Auto brake 2 should be sufficient for us today. And then we'll just finish up the leftover things that needs to be done in the FMC on the descent page. Go to forecast. QNH we just checked is 1019. We input that there and just execute that. We're at flight level 370, so I'm going to select 310, 200 and 100 for this one. Just want to see if it actually, okay, it selected flight level 115 as the transition level, and we'll keep it like that. So let's input the winds. I just need to get my flight plan out again. We just insert the descent winds. So at 310 it's 299 at 64, 299 at 64, and at 200 it is 298 at 53, 298 at 53, and at 100 it's 301 at 39. And we insert it like so, and we just execute that. That should be a-okay as is there. Now I just want to see which altitude do we need to reset the MCP to. I think 4,000, ne? Or 1,600. No, it's 1,600. Okay, so we need to climb to 1,600, and I notice now that they don't give a missed approach altitude in the missed approach section, which is odd. The first time I've seen that as well. Okay, fair enough. We're within those limits that they mention in this box. Borrow VNAV not authorized below -10 degrees and above 62 degrees. We are within limits in that regard. Okay, noted. Don't see. Huh. It's odd. Anyway, let's continue. I think we'll just climb up to 2,000 or maybe 4,000. Let's just go according to the minimums for the area. So I think, yeah, we'll climb up to 4,000. According to all of these, it's 4,000. So we'll just climb up to 4,000, and that'll be our missed approach altitude for today. Now let's just input our minimums. We're class Charlie aircraft, so our minimums is 315 feet radio. We're going to use radio for today, so it's 315. What is it? 315 feet. Yes. For some reason, my brain remembered 51 now. railed the numbers around. Just need to spin it up all the way. 315 past, there it is. Just want to say it's set on both sides now. Cool. And then we just select our approach course, which is 85,080. Yes, final approach course is 080. 080, I mean 085. That could have gone wrong. So we just select 085 on our course selectors. Although we're not flying an ILS, you still need to do this for the autopilot, so we will do so. Here we go. And there's our top of descent on the ND. You can see that as well now. Just gonna ding the cabin again. And I think that was everything now for the approach. I think. Let's see if the ATIS picks up now. I'm seriously don't think it's going to. It's too far away. Nah, not doing anything. Okay, so I think we discussed everything now for the approach. I input the winds into the descent page. We did the route, the weather, and the landing performance we spoke about. I must just remember my landing speed is 135. My approach speed, yeah, 135. Cool. So actually, I think I'm going to reset the MCP to 4000. And when we get to the top of descent, the aircraft should automatically start descending. If this thing reacts as a 737 should, it will do that automatically. It'll go all the way down to 4000, like so. So let's do the descent checklist and make sure we did do everything. And that's why we have the checklist. Pressurization, land altitude 300 feet is set into the pressurization panel. Recoil is checked a couple of times now. Auto brake is set to 2. Landing data, we will be landing estimated 54.5 tons is, for our landing weight, which is plenty. It's a lot under our maximum landing weight, so we are fine there. Our VREF is 139, giving us approach speed of 144, 145-ish. Minimums as 315 radio set into the primary flight display, and the approach briefing is completed. Right, and that is our after descent checklist completed. I'm still at takeoff, guys. I wonder how long have I been flying. I haven't actually checked. Let's just remove the yoke quickly. Where is it? Flight log. Let's see. How long have we been flying? Oh, it doesn't give enough time yet. Just the times we departed. Yeah, we departed very late. 40 minutes behind schedule. It's okay. Doesn't give a time yet, but I think, well, 8:40 and it's now 10:09, so that gives us what, 20 minutes, hour and a half, more or less, so far. I actually thought this flight was going to take a bit longer, but it seems I was mistaken. After this video, the flight should start getting shorter again as well. The flights I've planned after this one are going to be relatively shorter. The first video and this video is the longest flights that I have planned up until now, so hopefully we'll have some shorter videos. I have thought about dividing these videos up into parts, but it did not make to myself and the people I spoke to, it didn't make much sense to do so within this series. I might do that later on with other videos, dividing it up in parts so it's more digestible to watch. But for this series, I thought it would be best to keep it single videos for each episode. Just made more sense. And we're almost at the top of the descent now. We will be descending momentarily, guys. I actually want to try this PA system. What does it have? Yeah, let's listen. Can you? Not available. Oh, okay, cool. We don't have passengers anyway. Well, we technically do, but we never started the leg. It didn't want to start. Oh yeah, I actually am forgetting something. I want to, as I always do, set a VOR if possible. Don't know if this airport, no, it does have a VOR. Just need to go check what it is, what its frequency is. Was I'll have to have that in the standby on an RMP approach just for in case. It's the wrong mode. Oh, 113.6. Okay. Oh, there it is already in standby. 113.6, 113.6. Cool. I think we'll just set that over like so. And the aircraft started descending, so that's also good. Everything looking a-okay thus far. If I'm not mistaken, there in the distance we can already see Walvis Bay, I think. Yeah, in the far distance. There, that direction almost. Oh no, am I? Okay, yeah, that's this area right here, this piece of land right there. Walvis Bay is there. We're not far away anymore. We have it in sight. It's a very barren country, Namibia. It's mostly desert. And very, I think South Africa is a sparse populated country. This is probably a very, very, very sparse populated country in compared to South Africa. Not Southern Africa. This country is part of Southern Africa. Very barren. Not a lot to see. But I hope you guys enjoyed the ANA brief for today's episode. That was I love doing the research for this airport. It was very interesting history here with the South African Air Force. Not a lot happened per se at this airport, but a lot of history began at this airport. And quite unfortunately, this airport had, as you heard in the ANA brief, it did play a huge role in the Angolan Civil War as well as the South African border war. It played a huge role, but unfortunately I couldn't get any information on the airport's operations, then airbase operations that it took part in, or military operations that did operate from this airbase, or however. I couldn't find anything. And I don't know. Only from World War II, and maybe a few years after World War II, and then when the Angolan border war started, nothing. Still haven't gotten anything, because I have in the meantime did some of my but I did some personal research. Like in my free time, I did some research trying to see if I can find anything, but nope. But it did play an important part logistics wise. I've spoken to South African Air Force pilots who have told me that the airport was used for specific, especially in the transport category, for the C-130s, as well as the then AWACS / aerial refueling aircraft that the South African Air Force had in those years. It's used for that mostly, as far as I can surmise or what I can see. Let's actually put the bank angle limiter back to 30. Descending nicely. We're still on the path as well. See what was at Ansooks is the next waypoint. Let's just check our fuel. I have checked the fuel during the flight a few times. It seems to be okay. Just want to see what it says for Ansooks. 3.4. Okay, so we're actually doing not too bad. At Ansooks we should have been, or we should have had the flight plan, according to the flight plan, estimated 3.4 tons on the fuel, and we are above that, so it's fine. More fuel than planned, so that's okay. I did forget to mention our alternate for this flight is actually, let me just make sure of it again. I did check it a little while ago and I forgot. Foxtrot Yankee Whiskey Hotel. Don't ask me where that is. I actually don't. Oh, it's not that far off. It's more or less, I'd say 60 nautical miles in that direction, basically. Maybe if we select airports on this side, you should see it. I just want to keep an eye on this profile. It seems like it wants to. I think we're gonna need to use some speed brakes maybe for this. I think I have some play on this lever. Aye, more problems to fix. Okay, but anyway, I just wanted to see airports. What was it again? Whiskey Hotel. That's one of these. I can't see it, but it's one of these. Probably. I think it's that one over there that's barely, you can't see the lettering, but there's the circle. I think it's that airport right there on the line. But anyway, then we do have an alternate and it is within reach, so I just forget to mention, I forgot to mention it during our departure briefing. We're not flying real people, we're not in any danger, so it's okay to make a few mistakes. That's how we learn, you know? We learn by making mistakes. In fact, you learn it better when you screw it up properly. Then I feel you get a much more or better learning experience if you screw up a lot. Because then you learn what not to do. For some reason during cruise this thing oscillated a lot, and the autopilot would manually pull hard aft, forward and hard forward and oscillating. It keeps doing that, forward aft, forward aft, forward aft, for some reason. And then I had to take over manually, fly it for a bit, and then re-engage the autopilot. I don't know why it does that, or why it did that. I've never had that in the Zebo mod either. It has never done that. I'm gonna put the wing light off. It's not necessary anymore. There's a small difference in voltage between the two generators. I love checking this stuff. It's interesting to see the differences and how they work together. And there we have our transition level. So we set 219. I can't see there. 219. 220. No, 219. And we set that. And I think we should be close enough now for a little ATIS. See if we can listen into the ATIS, hear if anything changed, if it picks up the ATIS. It's not picking up the ATIS. See the winds again. Oi. Send the request again. I think I actually made a mistake. No, 060 at 6 knots. According to the sim. Just want to quickly see airports on Navigraph, because the data on Navigraph and the data in sim doesn't match up. This is on Navigraph it says the wind is 270. I do have my weather engine running, don't I? Yes, I do. Okay, well, we will work with the weather in sim. 1019, everything is still fine then, according to the in sim weather. Just want to see if I resend it now, if anything changed. And after we're done here, we just do the it still gives us that information, so we'll stick with that, the information in sim rather. Okay, let's do the approach checklist. Approach checklist. Altimeters are set 1019 on both sides. Yes. And now we can put on the landing lights. We're below 10,000. I missed that. And we can put the engine start switches to continuous. We don't need any anti-icing today. And that should be fine. Oh, actually, I didn't forget to do what I like to do. It's just delete the previous fixes. And then, I think it's runway 09. That's how you do it. Yes, cool. Then we select 10 and we select 5, just to give me a little bit more situational awareness regarding the configuration of the aircraft. We should start seeing the airport now. I think. I don't know. I don't see. We'll see it shortly. think when we start turning in onto the approach course for the runway, I will start setting up the flaps and the speed for the aircraft. We might have to. It still has one decel point. Yeah. Might intervene between this waypoint, Imlek, and the initial fix. I will switch over to speed intervent, or I will select speed intervent, so we can manage our speed manually. Checked. Let's select it down to 1900 if I remember. 1600. We are turning in now to the initial fix. Speed's coming down nicely as well. I think I have the airfield in sight now. Yes, there we have the airfield in sight. I think actually speed intervent. Yeah, let's go 190 knots. Cool. Let's select flaps 1. Below 1, yeah, we can actually go straight flaps 5. Flaps 5 is selected. Just wait for it to travel. We have flaps 5 set as well now. I think let's reduce speed 180. And then I'm gonna select the approach mode. Capture that.
2500.
Checked. Should capture the glide path momentarily. It's almost coming in there if you can check on a primary flight display. We're gonna assume we got our landing clearance. Let's just ding the cabin. Sit down, madam. Oh, important thing, it's on the speed brakes. And then the glide path is captured now. Gonna reduce speed to 170 or flaps 15 speed. Can't see on that BFD. And let's drop gear. Flaps 15.
Gears down, 3 greens.
Thank you. Coming a bit offset of the runway, so I think is actually supposed to happen. Let's reduce our speed even more. What do we say? 135. Might be coming in a bit too hot now. Okay, we select flaps 25. Just better wait for it to go below 150 knots. Okay, and then we select flaps 30. Alright, I'm gonna take over manually now. My throttles as well, because it's not lined up with the runway. The interesting parts of flying in Africa. I don't know if anyone has flown to Victoria Falls, but that airport pisses me off a lot because the approach charts bring you into high automatically. Need to reduce speed a little bit. According to the poppies, we are a bit high, it seems.
500.
Start turning for the runway.
Approaching minimums. Minimum 300.
Continue.
$200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
And we have reverse green.
Knots.
Checked. Okay, manual braking. And we cancel reverse. And we made it though. Bit of an upset approach. Well, not an upset approach, but came in a bit askew. And we just turn off here as planned, Alpha 2. And then we just raise the flaps. Just gonna wait after this turn before I start fiddling around with everything. Okay, let's start fiddling around. Okay, so after landing procedure, that can come off, that comes off. We can put the APU on so long. Just gonna reset that. And then we turn off the transponder to, or we set it to standby. Good, and turn off the auto brake. And we select the trim to 5 units again. See the APU is starting up. Yes, it's doing its thing. Okay, all in all, not too bad, not too bad. Let's see, actually, does this one also do? Nah, it doesn't do it. Because I thought maybe it will give us like a, oh, it does actually. Approach rating excellent. I don't agree with that one at all. What does it say about the landing? Oh, it says excellent for both. Okay, with the landing I can say it was not too bad. But the approach, I don't think that was well. I just want to see something quickly. Maybe I just misread this thing. Okay, so it's 085. What is the runway heading of this runway anyway? It's 085. So theoretically it should have brought me in straight with the runway, but it didn't. I think you all saw I was a bit offset to the left for the runway. Interesting. I don't think that was supposed to happen, but anyway, the joys of flying in virtually in Africa. We'll get that a lot. In South Africa itself, I haven't seen that a lot. I think they do quite a good job there to keep stuff working as supposed to, but in the rest of Africa, especially when you go up into the lesser known areas where flight simmers don't usually go to, it is a bit wonky. The approaches don't line up and stuff like that. It's a little bit of a just experience and guesswork. Just want to reduce speed under 10 knots because it's a very small taxiway that we need to taxi onto the apron now. It's a very small airport and has a long runway, and it actually can accommodate A340s. I think a A340 landed in May this year here for the first time in a while, so it can accommodate big aircraft. I don't know how the hell they taxied an A340 here, but they did. But it also might be just the scenery. I couldn't get nice scenery for this airport that is freeway, I must add. There are some very nice sceneries that are payway, but I wasn't in the mood to spend money for just this airport scenery. So we are basically just gonna stop wherever we please, because it's a stop, get off, get out, and go on with your life type of airport. I think actually we're just gonna stop here somewhere. Maybe even right here, because there's no other place. There's no parking spots or anything really at this airport. There's a general aviation parking spot right behind us. If you look here, over there, there's cargo apron. It's a cargo apron. The terminal is where we are at now, but there's no parking spots. So today we're just gonna sit right here in the way. We'll just say that some other pilot's gonna fly this thing out afterwards. So let's put on the parking brake. I'm pretty sure 3 minutes have elapsed, so we just go over to the APU, put the APU on the bus, we turn off the taxi light, and actually this should have gone off already, but anyway. Then we can put off engine 2, then 1. We have one, well I should have said 2 blues, 1 red, but anyway, get the idea. And the engines are almost off. Just wait for it to go below 24, then we can put off the anti-collision light, and there we have it. So we can put off the anti-collision light now, and now we can start. We can put on the chocks, and we can open this door. I'm gonna use the air stairs today. Let's connect the GPU and switch over to the GPU. Then we can put off the APU. Can open that. Packs can go off. In this case, we leave the hydraulic panel as is. Pitot heats come off. Can put that to ground power, and then everything is correct as it should be at a turnaround. I think it seems I didn't forget something. Nope. Well, that concludes our flight for today, guys. We made it to Walvis Bay in Namibia, and I hope you enjoyed the flight. I hope you enjoyed the history segment especially. Let me know what you guys think about that, and once again, any suggestions, please leave it down in the comments, and if you like this video, please leave a like. Please leave a like and subscribe. It does help the channel out, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Cheers.